Hello, my name's Peter Foligno. I'm the careers advisor at the Berwick campus at Federation University, and this session is on changing careers. And I'm going to share a PowerPoint as well, and I'll just go to that now. And what this session all about is discussing some of the challenges that people face when they want to change careers and some of the things you can do to make your decision a little bit easier by giving you some strategies that you may undertake to assist you in this process. So if you're looking to change career because you're unsatisfied or dissatisfied with your current career, you're not alone. A lot of the surveys, not only in Australia but around the world, show that people show dissatisfaction in their current job. It could be because of the workplace, but quite often it's because of the type of work they're doing that may not be suited to their likes or to their particular interests. This is one of the catalysts for people wanting to change careers, that they feel that they're not using their best personal resources to make a worthwhile contribution, and not using the skills that they have that might be better used in some other pursuit. So a good place to start is asking some of these questions to yourself. So do you have any particular skills or special abilities that would suit particular lines of work? It's good to do an audit and maybe make a list of the type of things that you've been successful in the past, and jot those down and refer to those a little bit later when you start narrowing down careers or jobs, and see whether they're the type of skills that are necessary for that type of employment or career. You need to really ask yourself, what type of difference do you want to make in the job that you're doing? You may want to have a local or a global difference. It might be a social type of cause that you want to contribute to, or maybe it's a financial thing. Maybe it's all about making money. But that's a critical question you need to ask yourself, and the range of careers that are suitable for you and a match to you will be influenced by that decision. Think about what you've enjoyed in the past, and that includes, what type of people and what type of environment that you might have enjoyed in the past, and what you've disliked as well. So it might have been the type of work you were doing, or the style of work that you're working in. It might be as simple as, were you wearing a uniform? Do you like wearing a uniform to work, or not? Do you like working in a group or solo? So those kind of things, and making a diary of all the answers to these questions will make the process a little bit easier for you as you try to narrow down suitable jobs and careers. It's important to start doing a reality check as well of your non-negotiables. So what do you really need in the job or career, and also what is out there in the areas that you might be interested in. So is it important that you have the flexibility of full-time or part-time? There may be some jobs that may not offer opportunities to work either full-time or part-time, so that's a consideration. Is remuneration important to you? So is making a large amount of money important, or is that further down on your priority list? Is it important that you have flexibility to work at home? Obviously, there's some jobs that you can't work at home at all, so that's something to consider. Do you need time for your family responsibilities? So that might mean picking up children, or might be looking after dependents, or whatever it might be. Will that career or particular job allow for that flexibility? once again, do you prefer working inside, outside? Do you like to travel, or do you prefer to be in one location? Do you like to work in a clean environment that's safe, or you don't mind if you get your hands dirty and it's a little bit riskier, the type of work you're doing? And of course, do you prefer to work independently or with a team? These are all things that will feed into that final decision. You might also have ethical considerations that are important to you. I often speak with people in my line of work who say, oh, I wouldn't work for that kind of company, or my preference is to work for that kind of company because I believe in their values. And an example might be some people are very vehemently think that they would never work for a tobacco company, or they would never work for a large banking or insurance or telecommunications company because they are profit driven, or whatever it might be. So that's something really to consider as well. The other thing that you might want to look at too is the reality check of, is there demand for this job as well? So there's going to be certain jobs there's a high supply of positions for. So if you're thinking about doing nursing, for example, or working in the caring profession, or working in education as a secondary school, primary school teacher, obviously those type of roles, there's a lot of supply of jobs of those. So if you're thinking of getting to those, there's a very high likelihood you'll get a position once you have the adequate qualifications. Conversely, there's some occupations that are very competitive. For example, in the creative or artistic field, there may be less positions, but a high number of people who are seeking those type of opportunities. So although this may not be a deal breaker, this consideration, you should consider what type of supply of jobs are available in the areas that you're interested in. And this is the final slide. So this is the type of strategy I would suggest to people who've answered all those questions we've raised in the previous slides and are ready to develop a strategy and move forward and decide, or at least narrow down on some careers and jobs. So the first thing we would say is you probably have in your mind some jobs or some areas that you have some interest in, based on the questions that you've answered in the previous slides, and also you may have some type of interest or fascination in an area for whatever reason. But the first thing I would do is consider those jobs and make a list of those. So you might have half dozen or maybe even more of those type of roles or organisations that you're particularly interested in. The first thing I would do is start researching those roles. So, for example, even just Google a day in the life of a psychologist or a day in the life of a IT security specialist. You will find an abundant amount of information of those, of what the reality of those jobs look like, what you would do on a daily basis, the type of skills you will need to work in that area, the supply of those jobs, things like that. But then you can go even deeper, and you can investigate people who work in those organisations. That could be through LinkedIn, it could be through professional associations, it could be through networking activities, and actually speak to people who work in those fields to get a realistic view of what they like about the job, what they don't like about, and how they got into the industry as well. So you want to get really detailed information about that. So speak with many of those people as you can, and generally they're very, very happy to speak with people who have got an interest in their particular field and happy to share their information. The next thing you'll need to do after speaking with people and researching those roles is find out, is there a gap between what you have and what you need to work in that profession? Is there a qualification you need? Is there a certification you need? Is there experience you need? And once you identify those gaps, then make a decision, am I prepared to fill those gaps by doing that further qualification or getting that experience? If after doing all these things you're still confused, we really recommend that you seek help from a careers professional. If you're a student or prospective student at Federation University, we can help you at any of our 3 campuses with one-on-one appointments. But we can speak through with you some of the options that you may want to consider. So thank you very much for taking the time to look at this brief presentation, and I hope it's been useful, and good luck in your career journey. Thank you.